everybody. My name is Bruce Winter. I'm a Principal Technical Account Manager for the Premium Customer Support Team for Symantec here in Springfield. So today we're going to show you how to add a detection server, install DLP on a new detection server, and add it to the Enforce console and give it a detection server role. So let's go ahead. As you can see in my lab here, I have my Enforce server running. I have my 2K12 domain controller running, and I also have base OS server up that we're going to call our new detection server. So to install DLP on a detection server, you still need the full platform that you would have downloaded from File Connect using your serial number. And for this demonstration, that file would be called Symantec DLP underscore 15.0 underscore platform underscore win dash in underscore b.zip. The reason there's a B there is that because we repackaged this shortly after 15.0 G8 and we made a version B. So you always want to download the version B. So to install DLP on a detection server, it's really quite simple. You just extract that package with 7-zip and it's going to bring it to its own installation folders here. And you don't need to install DLP on a detection server using command line like you would with an agent or when you're running an upgrade per se. To install it for the first time, you just simply drill in the DLP directory 15.0, and then you go into new installs. And then of course this is the x64 package that I downloaded. I should have made that clear. If you downloaded a package for 32-bit, it would be here. So x64, and then you just execute protect installer 64 underscore 15.0.exe. So we'll go ahead and kick that right off. And it's going to extract here, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so now we have our installation screen GUI. We'll click Next. And of course we want to accept the EULA. And important here, when you installed DLP on Enforce, you would have not had this checked. You'd have had Enforce checked, and then Indexer would have been checked and grayed out by default by installing Enforce. Now it already can detect that there's an Enforce server, so it automatically pops up and says detection server. So you want to leave that at the default. Unless you wanted to install an indexer or a single tier installation, you could do that, but not on this server, of course. So we click Next. And we need to decide at this point in time what kind of a server it's going to be. So we don't want this to be a detection server in a hosted environment. If it was, it would be a totally different installation procedure. A hosted environment would be like Amazon Web Services or some other platform as a service up in the cloud. I'll click Next. And then we accept the default install directory. On this server, there's only a C drive. So normally in most this is for my lab uses. Normally on any application server, you would have a C drive for the operating system install, and you would then build a data drive, a D or an E drive as a data drive to install DLP in. But for my lab, I just install everything on the C drive. So we'll accept the default path here. And this is all default stuff, accept the defaults. And we want to create a new service user. We don't want to use an existing service user because we've never installed DLP here before, so this server doesn't have DLP on it, so we need to create a new one. And we're going to accept the default name of protect. Now, when it comes to passwords, normally in my lab I would use protect, but I don't think I have strong passwords turned off, so let's see here. And we'll just see if it'll let us do that. Nope, it doesn't. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and use something strong like capital P. So we'll use protect demo 04 with a capital P. Oh, that still isn't good enough, huh? Okay, so all right. Well, this is my lab, so let's just go ahead and let's just go ahead and fix this really fast. So let's just go here. Security policy. Since it isn't a member of a domain yet, we can just go ahead and edit the local security policy. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and do this. Disable that. And then we're good. All right, so let's go back in here. Now, obviously, this is for my lab uses. We don't recommend that you ever use a non-strong password in your production environment. Again, this is for lab purposes only. And we won't accept the default port of 8100. You can change it if you want to, but it's, you know, it's, we suggest that you leave it at port 8100. But if you're already using port 8100 in your environment for something else, you can choose 82 or 8300. It doesn't matter. Just make sure that you record that so you know that you know you would have already known that because you've installed Enforce at a different port. But it's okay to use a different port if you want to. Never put anything here in the network interface bind address. It's not something that you use. This is for network monitors, and this is if you're adding a high-end capture card. So we're not doing that. And the install begins. So we'll just wait here a moment. And we're extracting files. And we will get to the base of the install. There we go. And the install completes very quickly. So there's an option here whether you want to start Symantec DLP services or not. There's currently no reason not to do that, so we will go ahead and do this and accept the default. If you're doing some sort of a custom install, or if you're going to do something custom with certificates and it wouldn't connect anyway, you wouldn't want to start Symantec DLP services. But those are all special circumstances. For our purposes here today, we'll just accept the default and start DLP services. And then once this completes, we'll bring up the services applet and verify that, in fact, it did, just for our own satisfaction. There we go. And we're going to the service on any detection server is called want to monitor. And there it is, and it's running, started and running. And it's running under the protect account. By default, that's what we configured. Okay, so now we have a detection server that does have DLP installed on it. It is not any flavor, no channels are enabled, so it's just a detection server. It doesn't know whether it's going to be SMTP prevent or web prevent or discover. All those roles can be assigned when you install the server. So let's jump over to the Enforce server. First, let's make note of this IP address here. There we go. And let's just go ahead and there we go. Oh shoot, where's it at here? There it is. There we go. Let's go ahead and create a shortcut here for Notepad. Pin that to the store. There we go. There is our IP address of our detection server. Let's go ahead and save this. We're going to make this an SMTP prevent server, so let's call it smtp.text. All right. So we'll close this. Go to our documents really fast. Copy this. Jump on over to our in-first server. Go here. And documents. We'll just copy this right in here. And there it is right there. So to add a detection server to an Enforce server, we just go up here in the console. So you can see we're logged on in the Protect with the Protect account, and we're in the System Overview screen. So we click Add Server, and when you do that, you have two choices. You have Software Server or Cloud Detector. Appliance is grayed out because that's something that wouldn't be available unless Enforce knew that there was an appliance already. So we want to just click Software Server. And now is when we need to tell it what channel we're going to enable. What is this server going to be? So in this case, we're going to call it SMTP Prevent, or as we actually call it in the DLP world, Network Prevent for Email. Okay, we click Next. And what's it going to be? We're going to call it SMTP underscore prevent, and we'll just call it 01. And then the host, you have two options here. If your Active Directory integrated and DNS is working fine and no problems there, you can just use the fully qualified domain name of the server, or for our purposes, we're just going to use the IP. That's why I copied over that file for IP. So we'll just go here, and this is the IP address. And we're just going to paste that right in there. There we go. And again, default port of 8100 is what we're going to use. We don't need to be in trial mode. We can actually do some testing with it. And there is the key store password is not a required field. And we don't want to have it in the reflect mode. We want to have it in the forward mode. And we want to disable MX lookup. And to find out what to put in there, we go to one of our other detection servers. And, oh shoot. Yeah, let's cancel this really quick. Let's go back so we can get that information really fast. All right, so we go to our other detection web SMTP Discover server, go into that, go into configure, and we can capture that information that we need. So since this detection server has multiple roles, we never suggest in a production environment that you have more than one role on a detection server at a time. But for lab purposes, I have done that. So let's go to inline SMTP, and here's the IP that we want to put in there for our downstream MTA. That's what this IP is for. So we go here. Okay, we'll save that. All right. We have that here now. There we go. All right. So now we can exit out of here. And say done. And then add server, software server. And we want to add a network prevent for email. Next. And we're going to call it SMTP underscore prevent 01. Here, we're going to go here. Will be this IP here. That's the address of this actual server. And we're going to check trial mode. Note we'll have to keep store password. Unless it was custom search, you wouldn't need to do that. We're going to choose reflect mode, disable MX lookup, and then we're going to put this downstream MTA IP address in right here. And that's the address of the proof point server that I have configured in this lab, just so you know. Copy that in there. No other information is needed. And then we are going to click save. And it'll come up in the console, and first it'll probably say unknown. But no problem, we'll get a run in here. There we go. And yeah, come up saying unknown. All right. So we'll just click refresh a few times, give it some time. And it's starting up. Now, for those of you that don't know, when you add a detection server to an existing Enforce environment, it's going to build a certificate based on the default certificates that were used in the Enforce environment. Now, in another instructional video, I'm going to show how to create custom certs for your entire environment, which is what we really recommend that you do. But that's going to be another instructional video. So, this thing's starting up here. And it's all running now. So now we have another SMTP prevent server that's a dedicated server now. It's not one that has multiple channels on it. And we can go into Enforce, and there's SMTP prevent 01, and it's running. We can click on the link for it, and it'll take us right back to that window where we're just at. And when it came up, the license was received from Enforce. Detection server database was started, and then the license was received. It loaded 11 policies from Enforce. It loaded database profile, loaded data and a file reader started, and monitor started, box monitor. So there you go, folks. We now have a running SMT prevent server in your Enforce environment. So this concludes this instructional video. I hope that you found it to be useful. And as always, my name is Bruce Winter. I work for the Premium Customer Support Team here in Springfield. If you would like to contact me and ask further instructions, or if you would need help in your environment, please feel free to contact your Premium Support contact, and they will in turn get in hold of me, and we'll move from there. So again, thank you today, and have a good day.